Look, I guess, how would you describe last season, right? Because successful for you, you have a couple results, but didn't get to where you wanted to ultimately go at the end, right? So how would you describe last season?
Yeah, I was able to come back. For sure, it was maybe hard not to do the tournament. But some people are doing a cartwheel in the back. and I just saw Rampio. And he told me, that's because of you I won $1 million and my family is really happy. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I feel good about myself right now. So maybe I would have choose to win the $1 million instead of Rampio telling me that I changed his family's life. But well, still nice for him to say that.
And maybe you could say, well, you could change my life a little too, you know. Yeah. Maybe cut off a little check.
But the thing is, he was not supposed to do the tournament last year, and the reason why he did it's because I got hurt. So yeah, it's and everything was against him. Like I told him, you have the best story for like as a champion. He was not supposed to win. He won. They choose him to fight Anthony Pettis 1 week after. He made to wait twice in 2 weeks. Like it make no sense that he won that tournament, and he did it. And yeah, I'm really happy that he's the one who won it.
That's awesome. So I was wondering kind of what you thought about the concept, right? I mean, if you would be frustrated, like, oh, this tournament thing, it sucks because I got hurt. But it seems like maybe you like the concept, even though it didn't necessarily work in your favor.
Yeah, as an athlete, for sure, it's a pain in the ass, the concept. But I mean, as a fan, I think it's better. I think the show is better because of that. For sure, like some people's gonna have it easier, if you know what I mean, and other people's it's gonna be harder. But I mean, it's part of the show. And there's $1 million at the end of the show, so I think it's a good motivation for anybody, you know. But yeah, for sure, some people are gonna have it easier time, I would say.
I guess, how are you feeling? Fresh, you know, it's a new start. You know, I mean, obviously, it's a difficult process for the athlete, but excited. Like, are you taking things different? Making any changes? Are you going to do things differently this time around?
Yeah, I guess so. Last year, I came in, even my first fight against Marcin, I was hurt. I think you guys remember the big elbow I had. And so I think I have to be a little bit more careful with my training camps in PFL, because the first fight I had my elbow, and then the second fight I had the other elbow. So I was kind of like, oh man, I think I need to do like a pretty good training camp the first fight, but then just trying to stay in shape, to stay healthy for the next three training camps. So yeah, I think it's different. I think it's well, it's not great that what happened last year, but I think it's a good experience, you know.
Last thing for me, as you said, you don't have an easy road. A tough matchup right out the gate. I guess, how do you feel about your first fight? How do you feel you guys match up?
I think it's probably for me the most interesting fight. Anyway, in my mind, I think it's a good puzzle, really good puzzle.
What shirt are you wearing?
Oh yeah, Arnold is numero uno.
Are you a fan of Pumping Iron?
You know what it is? But no, that's from my friend Arnold Allen from the UFC. And yeah, he's a big fan of Pumping Iron. And yeah, I don't know. I really like the shirt. I like the little Easter egg too with the shirt. So I had to get two. I got two. People think I always wear the same shirt, which is true, especially this week. But normally I have two shirts back home, and people think that I just have this one.
Thank you.
Hey, Olivier, now you talked about Manfio's story being, you know, a really interesting chapter for him and one to watch as a fan, seeing him go from that alternate position to win the whole thing. The OAM story now has a lot of wrinkles in it, of course, with the context of last season. When you step back and view your journey within the last couple of years as a fighter, I mean, do you see yourself as the underdog and, as some would say, a Cinderella story coming into the season?
No, I don't see myself as an underdog. Even last year, I didn't see myself as an underdog. I think I was actually the favorite last year to win the tournament. Maybe I'm crazy to think like this, but um, I really think that if I didn't have the -1 point because of my injury, I would have won the $1 million. I think my game is really strong in PFL. I think it's going to be the same for this year. I think the level is probably a little bit better than last year this time around, but still, I think we're going to see the same couple of people at the end of the road, you know?
Last one for me. I know that you're a big crypto guy. I'm curious what you make of the future of decentralized currency and the volatility over the last 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, well, I mean, crypto is volatile, you know. I'm more of a Bitcoin guy. But I mean, it's a bet I did. Like I know if I put that in the bank, for sure it's gonna lose 10% every year. So my bet is in 10 years, it's gonna be more than what it is today. Like I mean, if I just put that in the bank anyway, it's gonna be less fast for sure. So it's a little bit, and I really believe in Bitcoin right now. I think it's really important. Maybe not for us. Maybe for us, we don't understand how important it is. But some people who are in other countries, they know how important it is. And I think once everybody understands this, it's gonna explode. And this is gonna be the cheval de Troie. How do you say that? The horse. The horse.
Was it Troy, the Trojan horse?
Yeah, the Trojan horse, exactly.
Is that?
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jam.
Olivier, still seeking the first finish in the PFL. Is it important for you to put an emphasis on finishing this season?
Not more than normally. I mean, for sure, it's cool to have a finish. It's better, but I think the best is the win. So I think I'm always been like a smart fighter, and it's sometimes you have to take risk, and sometimes you have to take another solution. So I think last year I could have taken a little bit more risk. I think especially in the first fight, I feel I could have finished it. But the thing is, I was coming back from 2 losses. I was not willing to risk it. Maybe it's. I think it was a mistake, to be honest. But I could have maybe pushed a little bit more the second and third round. I think I hurt him so much in the first round. I could have done something after that.
You fought so many great guys in your career. Just curious, is there someone that stands out as the toughest opponent you fought?
Ironically, I think my hardest fight was not the best guy who I fought. So I think one of the fights I really thought was hard for me was Alexander Hernandez, who is clearly not the best fighter I fought. But I think I did everything wrong in that fight, in that training camp, that I was almost fucking dying from a heart attack during that fight. But I mean, I fought Arman Tsaroukian, who was really, really good. I think I did a little mistake at the end, which cost me the fight. In the third round, we were going 1-1, and I really thought I was going to take this one, but I did a mistake that I still dream of. And Gilbert Burns, I mean, I think I could do better than that. I think I was doing fairly well, but every time he was clipping me, and he was taking me down at will. So I think I could have done a little bit better. I'm really happy to fight those guys. They are like good wine, you know. When I fought them, nobody really knew them, and then now one is just fought Kamzat for the biggest fight of his life, and he fought Usman. He fought for the belt for 170. and the other one is probably going to be a top 5 155er for a long time.
I mean, you just since you mentioned the Gilbert and Hamzat fight, I mean, what do you think of that? Impressive to see Hamzat take those shots.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I actually bet for Gilbert on this one, and I don't know why people thought it was going to be a walk in the park. I think people are just stupid. I think that's my that's what I think. And they were stupid before the fight, and they are stupid after the fight. That's what amazed me. That everybody's like, "Oh, he's not that good, bro." Like, do you remember? Like, I don't know. Let's say Habib and Tibalt. Do we remember that fight? Do you remember that fight?
A lot of people still think he lost.
Yeah, a lot of. I mean, and he's still the greatest. I think Habib, probably one of the best fighter at one. He's the best fighter at 155. That's for sure. Like ever. But we're just gonna forget about that. Like, and since Khamzat didn't finish Gilbert Burns like that after his fourth fight, we're gonna say he's not that good. Yeah, he's right now he's my favorite fighter, Khamzat. I think he's gonna go really far, and I know a lot of people think after that fight that Usman and Colby can really take him easily. I don't think it's going to be that easy, and I think I give Khamzat some chance too. I think it's a little bit early right now to fight them, but I think Khamzat going to be a world champion at some point.
Do you like this style format the PFL brings, where you know when you're fighting next instead of we're in the UFC, you have to wait for a matchup and wait to get it approved and everything?
Yeah, I like it, but it's really hard because, well, as you know, it's one fight 2 months, one fight 2 months, one fight 3 months, and then the final. So it's really close, but it's good to know. It's good to know in advance. I think it's better. But for sure, it would be best if we had a little bit more time. But I understand that they want to do one tournament every year, which is understandable. But yeah, I think it's better. It's the first time in my career that I'm able to tell people if I can or can go to their wedding. So it's I guess that's good. I can just tell everybody no.
Is it difficult to train differently? Whereas you fight and you got to wait a couple months and fight again. You have to change, everything that you do. Whereas you had time in between for a full training camp.
Yeah. So like I said just before, like the first camp I think is going to be pretty. It's going to be the hardest, but after that you have to be smarter. I don't think you can go all in every camp. I think you have to be physically ready in the first camp and then stay ready in the next couple of camps, because basically what's going to happen is I'm going to have my first camp, which I just did. After this fight, I'm going to have maybe 1 week, 2 weeks off maximum. Big max. If I'm hurt, I'm going to get 2 weeks. If I'm not hurt, I'm going to get 1 week and then 1 more week just to eat everything. But after that, I have to go back to losing weight, and I have to go back to training. So I think, for a long time, I think sparring is overrated. But I don't think I can spar too much during the next 3 training camp. I think I'm just going to do light thing, stay in shape, and stay in shape, but try to improve my shape too, because at the end of the year, I need to do 5 rounds.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
That's it.
That's it.